Hello everyone and welcome back to this Gran Turismo playthrough. This is going to be the license B4. We're just going to carry on doing the same as what we've done previously. So you got the foot cam, you got the wheel cam, and yeah, we'll just jump straight into it. So license B4, braking into a corner. Here you can practice corner approach. You'll be coming from quite a high speed, so you'll need to brake quite sharply. Pick a reference point to help you finish braking while still on the straight. Then take the corner without leaving the confines of the track. So on Autumn Ring, we've done a track guide of Autumn Ring, we've done several things on Autumn Ring. So obviously, if I was struggling on this, I might look at the track guide, but I'm going to go into this just as I am, and we're driving a Honda Civic Type R, so we'll have to remember understeer in this one. So I got a glass of water this time, because my mouth got slightly dehydrated last time. So apologies if you can hear that. So we'll just have a look at the options. The driving options. We've got manual, turn the traction control off. Skid recovery force, still stuck on I'm afraid. ABS on 1, and then that's just for basically mine's sake, making sure that if it is able to get more sensitive, then we can do that. I'm just going to move this telly slightly. There we go, that's better. Much better. So as you can see on that, we're coming up to the first corner on Autumn Ring, the sharp right-hander. So we'll just jump straight into this. The time, for your reference, so you know we're only doing 15 minutes, is 35 on the dot, 25 to 9. And we're just going to go straight into it, so let's begin. So we've got a running start. It's going to be interesting then, because we've got no... Oh, we hit the rev limiter there. See what the brakes like. Very good brakes, actually. So we hit the limiter there. We're just off silver, so we've got a bronze. Hitting the limiter obviously cost us time. We didn't really go anywhere near as aggressive as we can be. I wasn't expecting it to grip that much, being a front-wheel drive car. So yeah, we can improve on that for sure. So we're just going to try and pick out a braking point first of all. Now from the guide, from what I remember, we have the hut, we've got the curbing, and obviously if it was really rubbish, we'd come back here where the track fins. But we're going to go into the curbing slightly. We're going to go a bit further in. So that was halfway in. As you can see, we're doing much better. And I can already tell that trail braking is going to have a big effect here. So we've improved there by nearly 3 tenths. We've got gold, in fact, just gold by 3 thousandths there. But I can already see that trail braking is going to have an effect there, because I broke really late, but I still could have broke later. So it's going to be quite hard to put a reference point on this, really, because obviously we're starting at quite a low speed on the straight. We're already halfway down the straight. We can't really use normal braking points, and the curbing doesn't have that many, so we're going to really look now for a tree or just anything we can use as a braking point. So we're going to look on the right side. We've got so I used the second green tree there, and that definitely wasn't the fastest way to doing that. So I'm going to try the first green tree. I think there was a... Well, we'll have a look again. I think there was an orange tree, then it goes a green tree. So we're going to go for that green tree. The first one. We went for the second one that time. We're going to go for the first. Yeah, so we've got an orange, then it's more of a yellow, and then the green, and then brake. I was a bit too early there. I was a bit too eager. And then that would have got me silver. So I can go a bit further there with the braking. So we're just going to focus on this braking point, so we can go a bit further. Now brake. Hit the limiter there slightly. Improved my time though. Now you notice that the Ghost initially got more of a gap, but we were able to catch up because obviously we went in to go out, to come back in again. And because we came back in again, we got the acceleration earlier. It's front wheel drive, so if you do that and then accelerate, you're gonna get wheel spin and obviously slower acceleration. So we're going to look at improving on this further. I think we're nearly there with the braking point. I think it's just before the end of that tree. See, I was too sensitive to the braking there. I sort of let off and didn't do anything, and that cost me time. So we'll go for this again. Still just focusing on this braking point. It's all about picking a really good braking point here. I had to let off there, but I think I've got a really good exit there. Nah, it wasn't as good. I'm thinking actually we could actually go really wide, because if we're not doing the next corner, we're just focusing on one corner, so I think we could go much wider on the exit rather than staying tight. So I'm going to try that while trying still being aggressive. So I still stayed tight there, just my mindset of staying tight on the track. I improved a bit more there, 0.766. Now on the previous ones I was always 2 or 3 tenths up on the goal time. So that's my real aim here. I want to get into the 0.5s really, if I'm honest. But we'll see what we can do. It's only been 5 minutes, so obviously we've still got plenty of time to do that. And we've sort of picked our braking point now. That's sort of where we're going to go for. Yep, definitely improved again. Now I think staying on the inside is actually better because we just reached it slight bit earlier, the jet point. 0.717 now. It's going to get a bit tricky to get into that 0.5s actually, thinking about this, because that's quite a good time that I think. We'll get into the 0.6s. We'll go for a low 0.6, so we're going to go for 0.62, we'll say. It's quite low time to go for. That's our target. So now it's all going to be about trail braking. How much can we trail brake from that brake reference point? So we improved slightly again there. Now we trail braked a tiny bit more. We stayed a bit tighter, and that allowed us to get around the corner quicker. Now I've always talked about trail braking in the past about getting the rear out because of obviously the weight to transfer. Now, obviously with the weight transfer in a front wheel drive car, the trail braking can just increase that grip a tiny bit. It's very hard to do that though really, because the weight transfer can be so extreme. So I think I can be a bit more aggressive on the throttle there. I went a bit wide there, missed the apex, and I still was in the gold. But yeah, as I was saying, obviously with the weight transfer, usually with braking it does that, and then you go like that on the braking, all the weight going to the front. Now with trail braking, obviously if you can just get that weight tiny bit on the front, obviously it can allow it to grip, but then as soon as you go like that, so obviously it can be tiny amounts of weight, it can either understeer or grip, and it can get quite risky on that front. So obviously this foot has to be very sensitive. It's quite a good practice really, but we'll just see on this. We're just going to go into the corner. Nah, I didn't feel it in that time. I felt I could probably brake a little bit later. We'll have to see with this, or we'll just go again. And we're going to do the same again, but brake a bit later. I was alright. I was a bit. I broke a bit too late there. I'm trying to get in the middle of sort of what I'm doing. It's quite a tricky one, this really. So we'll go for this again. Really early. That really did grip as well, and I felt that. Look at that, 0.650. I felt it grip. So as soon as I felt the force feedback grip, I just put my foot down because I knew that I had the power and the grip to just maintain an increased throttle output. I'll just save that replay because that is actually a good time, I think. But I think we could do better. I definitely think we could do better on that one. We will just save that, and then we'll go again. Want to keep doing this, so we've got 7 minutes left. I think we can do this 0.5. I'd mentioned 0.5 earlier. I think we can do this. We just have to be very aggressive. No, I changed gear a bit too early there. Lost some of the torque, and that obviously affected acceleration. As you can see by the time, 0.867. So all these things, this is why I like the licenses so much. I'm learning so much about one car and how one type of car can react in any situation, just from this one corner. And it's only a B license as well. Ooh, you see we're in the 0.6s. I'm definitely feeling it now, that where I can just come off the brake, and rather than roll, I can literally just go bang straight on the accelerator and just go for it. So we're just going to try and be really aggressive now, really just brake straight into the corner. I'm thinking if we get a bit of turn in first and just slam straight brake it. You know, I think that actually might be the way to do it. It's another technique that I've done in the past with front wheel drive cars, because essentially braking in a straight line like that is always worthwhile. But obviously if the corner is doing that, and it's a really long 180 corner, you could actually do that, because you're going to go in, out, and then back in again. So if you can brake straight on a diagonal, you're still braking straight, the wheels are all going in one line, but obviously you're just getting that first part done. It's sort of similar to trail braking, but you're braking in a straight line and getting the full effect. I've never really talked about that braking technique before, because I don't really race front wheel drive cars, but it's definitely a technique very usable in front wheel drive cars. So we'll go for it again. I was a bit too greedy there, turned in a bit too early. As you can see, I lost a lot of time. Still silver though, so if you are just going for that silver, you can do that. Definitely think that's the way to go though, but in the middle of both of those, trail braking and straight line braking on a diagonal. So we're going to go for this again, go for a similar technique. As you can see, we are ahead, or we're ahead, but because we broke and we slowed down too much, so obviously we can get a bit more braking to increase just the time, just that slight bit. Obviously we're not after much for that 0.5. See, I did it again. I did the same thing again. I'm braking, and because I'm braking in a straight line on a diagonal, I'm braking so much earlier, so I'm actually going to brake at the end of the tree again. Sorry, just to see. See, I wasn't far off there, and I was really wide there. I broke at the end of the tree, and I've always said, you know, try new things all the time. But you can also revisit things. You know, you can find a new technique and then find a new braking point because of the new technique. So, you know, always do look at that. Never stall on one area is the best advice I can give. Changed gear far too early there, and you could sense it in the cars. The engine just died. It went, and that sound should give you an inkling that the car is not using its full potential. As the memes would say, VTEC didn't kick in, yo. I'm not sure with that attempt. We're sort of stuck in this 0.6 area at the moment. I did say a low 0.6. I think we can get into this 0.5 if we nail this. I don't think you can get any lower than a 0.5 though. Definitely not. Oh, we've gone a bit too slidey. And you can see that with the time. So we've got 2 minutes left to try and get into that 0.5. I think I need to just come back off the aggressiveness slightly, try and maintain a bit more momentum through the corner, so we will do that. We're still off. Because it's such a short time as well, we're going to struggle to even get the distance we need, because remember it's just one corner, and finishes straight after, so it's not about acceleration so much. That's just getting the momentum through the corner. I don't think we're using as much of the track as we need there. I don't know if you noticed, but we could have gone more. We went more to the left that time, and we sort of got more momentum going through the corner. So we're just going to go to the far left this time and really try and come into the corner. So we're going to use the curbing. Hit the rev limiter there, but I don't think we would have improved. So we're going to do 2 more goes, and that will be time. So we're going to go for this now. Definitely think we can do this. Nope, not done it that time. I'm not going to talk on this last attempt. I'm going to try and focus as best as I possibly can now. Ah, so unlucky. We got a slight bit of understeer right at the end there, and that did cost us that time. So unfortunate, we still got in the 0.650. I did say 0.620, so we're just off that. 0.5 is probably possible with just a tiny bit more time, but 15 minutes, that's all we're giving to this. So thank you very much for watching B4, and I'll see you on B5. Cheers.